good to get started? All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I like that energy. All right. I'd like to call to order the February 3rd. I can say that date correctly today. February 3rd Board of Commissioners meeting. Note the presence
What was
of
the date of the last meeting?
don't note the presence of all three commissioners. Tiffany, I'd love for your daughter to lead us in the pledge. So I don't. What is your name? Okay, yes, okay. All right, not to put you on the spot. Take us off. Great job. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on a rare Tuesday meeting. Occasionally, we have to change the meeting date to accommodate schedules. I have a few comments. We know that this is our first meeting in February, a month where we celebrate Black History Month. And during this month, I often think of my grandmother who grew up in the segregated South. In her lifetime, she went from being treated as a second-class citizen to seeing her granddaughter elected to public office. I would not be here today without her, as well as my mother and father who instilled the value of public service. My story is not unique. It's one of many that are only possible due to the perseverance of so many Black community leaders and everyday people. In fact, this is the 100th year that Black History Month is being celebrated. The county will be hosting a series of events this month that will honor the vision that Dr. Carter Woodson and the founders of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History had when they laid the foundation for what has become Black History Month. This year's theme reflects on the power of Black history celebrations in shaping identity, fostering pride, and transforming how Black communities see themselves and how the broader public understands their contributions. These webinars will be every Wednesday starting tomorrow at noon and are open to the public. Registration is available on our website. I'm looking forward to attending the first webinar, and I will be joined by members of the Pottstown NAACP. I want to commend Donna Richmond, our Chief DEI Officer, as well as the entire Black History Month Committee for their hard work in putting this program together. Next, I'd like to highlight that next Wednesday, February 11th, will be our second annual State of the County event in Montgomery County Community College. This is something my colleague, Commissioner Makisha, came up with, and it's a really great opportunity to share what we did in 2025 and talk about our priorities for 2026. Any chance we have to get many of our community partners, local leaders, and county staff in one room is always special. So if you want to join us, we welcome our friends and neighbors to join us. Please visit montgomerycountypa.gov/state of the county to register. We have nearly 500 people registered to attend already. You may have seen yesterday that the county has unveiled the new branding, and you can see up on the screen here today as well. We voted to approve our refined seal at our last board meeting, and this brand has been a long time in the making. It's the first true rebrand in county history and the first update to our county seal in 25 years. The update visual identity is not just a logo. It's a new brand system that aims to unify county departments and offices. This work is important because it's a clear and recognizable brand helps residents, businesses and visitors easily identify Montgomery County. It brings our innumerable programs and services under one visual umbrella. It makes clear to our 3,000 county employees that we're all working together for the betterment of our community, and it strengthens the county's voice in regional and national conversation. The refined seal will remain the symbol of our official county government business, while the new logo will appear across marketing and communication materials. This effort began in 2024 and included extensive research through stakeholder sessions, interviews with residents, and an assessment of other county brands nationwide. I want to give a shout out to our amazing comms team, especially Megan, Amanda, Meg, and Colin, who really brought this project over the finish line. I know it wasn't easy, especially getting three commissioners to agree on what color to pick, but we are grateful to have the branding that really feels like it represents our great county heading into 2026. Lastly, I want to highlight that we've recently approved a contract to work with a cost savings consultant, Rios Partners. This consultant will be coordinating, we will be coordinating with and supplementing the work of our Office of Strategy, well, Office of Innovation Strategy and Performance. I always get that wrong. The group has already met with many members of our senior management team and department leaders, including IT, procurement, and all the aspects of assets and infrastructure, including our county fleet, public property, and the county buildings, as well as telecommunications. And they've also partnered with our controller's office. Together, we will be looking at things that look like we're duplicating spending, reducing the number of vendors we are using, more efficient contract negotiation, analyzing historical financial data to identify benchmarks, and monitoring overall spending trends. Ultimately, this will bring many small improvements to our operations that will add up to large savings in the end. A key aspect is that this consultant only makes money when they find savings for us. So I want to honor the commitment we made during last year's budget cycle and let you know that we're still working on it in 2026, and we plan on making real progress. So we will continue to keep the public updated, thanks to the team that has worked to bring this cost savings consultant on board. And with that, I'll transition to my colleague, Commissioner Makisha.
So much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Couple of updates that I'll share. First is that we had an issue in East Greenville Borough, not just this week, but the past few weeks, 6 weeks, where residents at an apartment building, which was partially funded by Montgomery County to create affordable housing called the Willows, went 6 weeks without heat. And it was, just heartbreaking to hear that there were families who had newborn children who they brought home to a freezing cold apartment. And this had been going on for weeks and weeks, as mentioned, until some residents spoke up and brought up the issue publicly. And I want to thank them, because there's a lot of work still to be done to make sure that this issue is resolved. You might have seen there was a story that said it was resolved on Saturday. It's not true. We've spoken to a number of residents that continue to say that the heat is not working at this building, and apparently there was a transfer in ownership which took place over the weekend. So I'm working with, I would say our team is working with East Greenville Borough to see if we have different legal remedies to serve these residents, including revoking the occupancy permit, but that comes with all sorts of complications because people need a place to stay. Sometimes they would rather temporarily be in an apartment with space heaters. Their electricity costs have skyrocketed as a result. And we've asked directly of the company that has owned the building to not only pay for the electricity costs, but also the rent during this period of time. So that's an issue that I want to thank Allison Palmer in East Greenville for working on. She's the borough council president there. And this board takes seriously the safety of our residents, especially if we've invested in this building for affordable housing, and we'll use all the legal means we can to make sure that there are safe conditions in their building and everywhere throughout the county. So that's one issue that has come up. And I'll say this year, we've had a number of conversations about our elections, and we had a couple of votes in the last meeting and as well as this meeting to make sure that we're administering our elections as best we can. There are a lot of concerning things that have happened recently nationally. The FBI raided an election board office in Georgia, which I think if you just see that in the context of everything that the Department of Justice has done and been used for this year is deeply concerning. The president last night said he wants to nationalize elections. Elections are run by local counties. They're run by people of all political parties. In our county, our office is run by a Republican. We've got people of all parties who are participating as poll workers. They run the process with great integrity. They treat every ballot as sacred, and it's very important that we continue to make that clear because this year is going to be quite contentious if it starts out with the president raiding a local election office. So I think it's very important for us to encourage people to continue to participate, to continue to sign up as poll workers, to know that our primary election is May 19th. Those of you who are interested in running for office can collect petitions starting February 17th to March 10th, and there's information on how to do that on our voter services website. So please don't take some of these events as reasons to be intimidated from participating in the process. We need you to be engaged as poll workers, as candidates, and as leaders in your community. Also want to note that tax season is coming up. So the other thing that's happening this spring other than our primary. April 15th is tax day. The reason I'm talking about it now is because we have deadlines in February. If you are an EMS or firefighter who wants to apply for the rebate that we all passed in our one of our first votes in office was to give 100% property tax rebates for our first responders. And we've had 1,000 volunteer first responders already complete that, get the rebate. It's an average of $600 for the county, but combined with the municipalities and other jurisdictions, we should actually come up with a list. I think that would be helpful and post that so people know whether their school board or township has done the same. Combined with those things can really add up and make a difference as well. So there are 3,000 volunteers who are eligible in the county. 1,000 have applied in the last year. So I want to encourage everyone to do that by Sunday, February 15th is the deadline. If you have any questions, just email taxrebateprogram@montgomerycountypa.gov, and we'll get back to you soon after. Finally, next week on the agenda is going to be a really exciting project that we are exploring for solar energy with the Sustainable Energy Partnership. It's a regional collaboration run through the DVRPC, Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. It's something that we work together with Bucks, Chester, and Delco on to ensure that we're getting the best rates on electricity, and we're also buying clean energy. So we're going to issue a joint RFP with all 4 counties, collar counties. Monco is the one issuing the RFP, and we'll get a vendor to provide solar installation that could provide energy for across the region. So I want to thank our Chief Sustainability Officer, Davey, for leading on this project. It's a really big deal in terms of what we're going to be able to produce and how many people will benefit, especially at a time when electricity costs are also high. We're thinking every day about how we can support energy, clean energy within our region. So, thanks.
All right, could you, Megan, could you guys bring that logo back up real quick? I just want to, and Commissioner Weiner said it, but I want to reiterate because there seems to be a lot of confusion, especially out on Facebook and all over between the 2 items that are up there. There's a lot of confusion. People are believing or thinking that the logo, if you're looking at it on the right with all the green color, is replacing the seal, and that's not what's happening. The seal is staying as you see it there. The main difference in the seal was kind of made it round. If you look at our seal today versus the seal there, very similar in nature. So Commissioner Weiner did say it, so I just want to make sure that we're saying it again because I want to be clear that the seal's not going away. The logo is more or less for branding. And we as a board, voted on the seal, but we don't have to vote on the actual branding itself. So I just wanted to bring that up, just for further clarity. And again, as I said, Commissioner Weiner did say it, but
You can back
I just want to,
You can double say it.
it again.
People understand.
Yeah, so thank you. Also, February is Heart Health Month, not just because it's Valentine's Day, but more importantly, we want to make sure everyone knows that February is a very important month when it comes to our hearts and our health of our hearts. Heart disease is still the #1 cause of death in the United States, and it's important to continually check with your doctor, especially as a lot of us, like myself, are getting older, including Lee's getting older also. I just want to throw that out there. But it could help. Things that could help is, definitely diet and lifestyle is very important. But obviously, it's good to talk with your doctor because it's something that we hope someday would be able to get a reduction. But it's unfortunate that we still see it as the #1 cause of death. So, be cautious, be careful out there, but make sure that you have interactions with your doctor, especially as we've been hit with this major snowstorm and we've been all out there shoveling. It seems like forever. But anyway, so that's a very important month. And also, as I mentioned, Valentine's Day is February 14th. So make sure you find a loved one, whoever it may be, and give them a big hug as well. But moving on, we have our Plymouth White Marsh cheerleaders. Our varsity cheerleaders from White Marsh High School, they won a major Suburban 1 League championship for the second year in a row. We're hopefully going to try to get them here at one of our upcoming meetings. That championship occurred a few weeks ago, but like I said, it is their second one in a row. So the team now is headed to Orlando to compete for the national title. So, and right as we're talking about all the snow, Orlando sounds pretty good right now. I wonder if they need more chaperones. Maybe, just throwing it out there, we've got 3 commissioners that are, looking to go south during this cold weather. But we want to congratulate them and the coaching staff for an amazing second championship, and we wish them well as they represent Monco on the national stage. And then we also have next week, we have the Olympics is actually starting in Milan, Italy. There are 7 Pennsylvania-born athletes who will be competing this year. And you can see it's a good representation in Montgomery County as well, I believe, right? Don't we have somebody from Monco? No, I thought we did. Yeah, a lot of Philly. Well, that's great that we have that many from Pennsylvania representing us. So it'll be an exciting, I think 2 weeks, I guess it goes for. So make sure that you all tune in and support all our American athletes. What was that? Ben, did you fall over?
No,
You okay?
I think the dais as a whole just wanted to talk to us.
Oh, maybe put a new dais in the budget for next year. That's crazy. So, but anyway, getting back, make sure you tune in for the Olympics. And also, unfortunately, this weekend is the Super Bowl. For those that have not been paying attention, no, the Eagles aren't in it, but the Patriots are. And my wife is from Massachusetts, so now I have to hear about the Patriots again and how wonderful and amazing they are. But I'm sure it'll be an exciting game. And also we have, by popular demand, we have our first commissioner meeting on the road coming up in February 19th, and we're going to, not our first one this year, We're actually going to be going to Abington Township on February 19th, so the meeting will be held 6 p.m. And it is going to be, do we have listed here? I forget. It's going to be, where's it at? The Abington School District Administration Building. So this is a great opportunity. We've had a few in the past, and it's great for residents that come from, that aren't able to make our morning meetings, able to get there at night. And we want to hear, what's important to you in your area. And like I said, we've had a few meetings last year and the year before where residents came out, and it was really informative hearing about their specific issues, concerns, desires, and that within their area. So we're going to be in Abington. Joe, I hope we'll see you there. So we're looking forward. I'm sure it's a nice big meeting room, so we'll be able to accommodate a lot of people. And then finally, yes, the FBI did raid the office in Georgia. I don't believe we should be commenting on why or why not the DOJ did what they did, but the main reason was because they found 300,000 by testimony of ballots that shouldn't have been counted. So there's specific reasons for law to be enforced where corruption occurs. And I don't believe that we should be making statements that the DOJ is being weaponized, because I could make those same statements for the previous 4 years. One could argue that things occurred and the DOJ is weaponized, which I don't believe happened 4 years ago, and I don't believe it's happening now. They are doing their job, and they will continue to fight the rule of law.
All right, we are going to move to the first public comment section, and that's for today's pending votes. As a reminder, must be germane to county business, and it's relevant to what's on today's agendas. Do we have anyone?
Yes, David Morgan.
Mr. Rooney, did you sign up
Yeah.
for the first one? Okay, okay, good, all right.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm going to comment on specific items in the agenda, which is led by, in B5, there's a contract award, $250,000. I like the fact that it's gathering input from residents. That's a really good point. But then again, I wonder about the overall cost benefit of the Office of Innovation, Strategy, and Performance itself, because that probably has involved salaries, benefits, and pensions, and if they're saving money, is it outweighing the cost of having them there? Having innovation is great in a county, so I just would encourage good use of our tax funds there. And then the next one is B9, voter services. The grand total is $648,000 if you look at the end of that item. So maybe there's ways we can have a look at zero-based budgeting in general for all our expenses in the county and see how much is really worth doing there. Then I'm going to go on. The pages aren't numbered, but if you go on to the Office of Assets and Infrastructure, a few more pages down, there's $191,000 capital for subscription support Advantage upgrade. And so subscriptions that cost that much, almost $200,000, I'm wondering about the value of that, if that's really being carefully evaluated for zero-based budgeting. Then we have farther along, farther along, there's the last one was, that was in information and technology, I'm sorry. Information and technology. There's also a cost under assets of infrastructure for $349,000 related to trails, improvements there, and I wonder how much asphalt's needed in some of our trails, because if you look at Fairmount Park, you're walking through a lot of natural trails and to pave over a lot of areas, and it costs. It's under assets of infrastructure on the bottom of the page, $349,000. So just to review that and see that it's being good to nature and good to our budget. Then overall, last meeting we learned about the Justice Center project, and we have, in voting for these, to consider the fact that we have $480 million. We had to find $65 million more than what was in the newspaper saying $415 million in the reporter on Thursday, May 11th, 2023. So we've gone past that with expenses, and so we have to find out how to do that without having a huge tax increase, perhaps reconsidering Skidmore, the designer, which is not based in this area, Skidmore Owings Merrill. Also, who is the CFO now? Because we've lost Mr. Dotone. How are we going to have this handled well so the taxpayers are informed well? And I also, as I mentioned before, it will be a newsworthy
Thank you,
change.
Mr. Rooney.
Perhaps
Thank you.
Mr. Morgan, your time's up.
Not Mr. Rooney. I'm looking at Mr. Rooney. Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
You're welcome.
We are actively recruiting for a CFO. We have a whole finance team coupled with our senior leadership team that is working in the interim in Mr. Dortone's absence. Thank you for your comments. Next up, Mr. Rooney.
Good evening, or good evening, good afternoon, or good morning still, sorry.
Good morning.
I started up early this morning. A quick question on the agenda. The infrastructure, are those just county roads and county bridges? Okay, yes. Okay. And I don't know, but we could use some help in Abington on Jenkintown Road between North Hills Avenue and Easton Road. We've been working on this for 2 years, and I'm not sure if that's a state road or if it's a county road. But I'll find out about that, but it's not. I'll talk with somebody and maybe we can work with the state or something.
Sure.
Because it's, as you know, a lot of roads now, it's a serious pothole problem with the way the winter's been going. The second one, and I don't understand this, item number 2, there were 4 items listed for Justice Works Youth Care at $101 per hour per child. And 3 of them said they were, I think it was amendments, I don't have it right in front of me. I was wondering if maybe you could explain what that is for $101 an hour per child, and whether the amendment is you're increasing the funding rate or what it has to do with. And then just a real quick one from last week, again, and just watching Mr. Morgan right now. The solicitor should not interrupt residents when they have taken their time to come and address their elected representatives. People have driven here from all over the county. I don't have any idea if the solicitor lives in the county or not, but he's welcome to sign up. Even when the 3 minutes ran out on Mr. Morgan, he chimed in before the president even had an opportunity to say, "Hey, your time is up."
Mr. Rooney,
So
this
I would
public
just say,
comment, Mr. Rooney.
I would just say
Mr.
that,
Rooney,
it would be
Mr.
good
Mr.
if you
Rooney,
would allow
if you
people
could allow us to
for
talk for a minute.
and half without
Mr.
being
Rooney.
interrupted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ben, give me a second. Mr. Rooney, I have asked the solicitor to step in when things are not necessarily germane to county business. So we're not trying to be rude or interrupt. I'm sorry that you felt that way. We want to give people the time to share what they need to share. And so we're working on just a new structure so that everyone, regardless of what you're coming in to talk about, has an opportunity to do their 3 minutes. So certainly appreciate your feedback, but I've asked the solicitor to step in when things are not germane to county business.
He seems overly aggressive.
Okay, we'll work on that. Thank you for the feedback. Okay. Next up, the approval of the minutes. I'd like to make a motion to approve January 5th and January 22nd, 2026 minutes of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners meeting. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next up, authorization of a TUFRA approval for the White Marsh Continuing Care Retirement Community. Steve.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Forster, Director of Commerce. Before you today is a request by White Marsh Continuing Care Community, doing business as The Hill at White Marsh, seeking a resolution approving the issuance of one or a series of tax-exempt revenue bonds totaling up to $180 million. The Hill at White Marsh is a nonprofit, non-denominational continuing care retirement community established in the early 2000s in Lafayette Hill. It is located in White Marsh Township, Montgomery County, and features the full continuum of care from independent and assisted living to skilled nursing and memory care, and was recently included in Newsweek's America's Best Nursing Homes 2025. The bonds to be issued are a refinancing that will repay several earlier series of bonds, an associated rate swap agreement, and will fund an interest reserve. The bonds are to be issued by the Montgomery County Industrial Development Authority and have been approved by the IDA pursuant to a TEFRA hearing and resolution adopted January 28, 2026. The hearing was properly advertised on the IDA website at least 7 days in advance of the approval. Because the refinancing is for a Montgomery County-based entity, the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act of 1982, or TEFRA, requires approval by the highest elected official in the county where the funds are to be utilized. Approval of the bond issue will benefit the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of Montgomery County by improving the community's balance sheet, extending the term of their debt, and preserving and retaining existing jobs. Neither the General Credit nor Taxing Authority of Montgomery County are pledged as security for these bonds. Thus, the county takes no financial risk nor obligation in this transaction, and it does not impact the county's balance sheet in any way. I therefore request your approval of the resolution as presented by the solicitor approving the issuance of the bonds. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Steve. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 1 as described by Steve Forster. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makisha. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank
very
you.
much.
Next up, approval of an authorized county signatory on submissions to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Maureen.
Thank you. Good morning. The resolution before you is required by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, and it allows the commissioners to designate a signatory on behalf of the county for all documents, including agreements being submitted to PennDOT. If approved, this resolution would designate Chief Operating Officer Lee Soltesiak as the county signatory on documents to be submitted to PennDOT.
Lucky you. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2 as described by Maureen Calder. Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, review of the personnel list.
Good morning, Commissioners. You should have in front of you the final copy of the Commissioner Department's personnel list. It's a 3-page document dated February 2nd, 2026, with a time stamp of 10:05 a.m. All positions, excuse me, have been reviewed and accounted for your consideration.
Great. I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 3rd, 2026 personnel presentation as given by Mr. Tony Brew. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to make a motion to approve the advertisement of bids and RFPs for Montgomery County on attached Exhibit A. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makisha. Any board comment?
I just, quick comment, referring to Mr. Morgan, you raised up some really great questions again. But I will tell you, as Commissioner Weiner also said earlier too, that we are looking very closely at everything. And although some of these numbers seem high, remember we are a big county, so when we're reviewing a contract for $190,000 for Microsoft licensing, for example, it's covering a lot of, different things throughout Montgomery County. We are a $650 million budget, operating budget, and almost $1.3 billion annual budget. So I applaud your efforts, and I appreciate when you come to the meeting and raise these questions up, but I wanted to reassure that we are looking at everything very closely. Like the last meeting, we approved something with $2 million for related to Microsoft, for example, and that included $600,000 reduction from the previous budget. So it is ongoing, and I'm not telling you not to comment in future meetings. I just wanted to respond to your questions, but I didn't want to go necessarily one by one. But we are looking at it very closely, day in and day out. So I just want to reassure you. So thank you.
All right, moving to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, awards of contract, Montgomery County Exhibit B. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract awards, amendments, and renewals for Montgomery County on attached Exhibit B. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next up, awards of contracts, Southeast PA Regional Task Force, Exhibit C. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for Southeast PA Regional Task Force and attached Exhibit C. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Advertisement of bids and RFPs for the Southeastern Pennsylvania Task Force Exhibit D. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for Southeast PA Regional Task Force on attached Exhibit D. Is there not Z? I'll be here all day. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. General public comment?
Noya Todd.
Hello.
Aye.
My name is Noya Todd. I live in Norristown. I want to talk today about having a teen rally for kids born in 2007 and 2012, specifically because they are able to vote and they're going to be our future. I want to allow them to write speeches, especially in their native languages, to get a wider range of people about the effects right now and how it's impacting them and the future people fought for over many years. I want to make voices heard, specifically because I know how everything right now is affecting people and us with like ICE and all the political stuff happening in the world. I want to do it on the court steps if possible, and I want to have vendors like food or craft people who support the cause. I'm not sure where to begin or who to contact. I'm just looking for like support, help, and directions. And I would also love if one of the commissioners could speak. My vision is to have Josh Shapiro, because I know he could have a bigger impact and get the word more out instead of having it just here in Montgomery County. I'd like it to be people as far as PA can come, if possible. Thank you.
You have big dreams for your teen rally. So it's interesting. Got your email. We'll have a conversation, and I can just at least direct you on how to get things started. You all are representing our future, and we've had some. I've at least had some talks internally about doing. Having the commissioners do some type of teen summit, right, to talk about the issues that teens care about in Montgomery County. And so there's things that we can do to make sure that we create a safe space for people to share. So we'll get some time on the calendar, and we can just at least tell you the process. Depending on what you want to cover, is dependent on whether we can get involved on the official side, but there is a process to get the courthouse steps and all that stuff. So thank you for stepping up and having the idea. And we know a couple people up here know the governor, so maybe we can make a call to him for you too. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Joe Rooney.
Can I just add one thing for her? Thank you for coming up here. You're way ahead of, I don't want to say, maybe this is your generation. You're stepping up in a big way. I was going to say you're ahead of your peers, but there's a lot of people. And, I would love to see you host an event across the street at the courthouse steps and bring your peers. And you're way ahead of the game because our state reps don't know the permit process. So.
Hide my voice, so I like
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
And if you're anything like your mother, like I know you have that gene, so thanks for using your voice. And I say that with all sincerity. Your mom is on the front lines of a lot of great issues, so thank you. All right, Mr. Rooney, go ahead.
Hi, Joe Rooney from Abington. First one is thank you for coming to Abington, and that'll be good. We'll try and get some folks out there. And I bring up the solicitor because I hope that my own neighbors won't be treated as rudely. And I'm not sure when this thing changed, but I noticed it last meeting and this meeting, and it's not necessary. People have 3 minutes. And I've always said when I've gone to public meetings, people are allowed to stand up, they're allowed to address their elected representatives, and they're even allowed to be wrong, okay? and they should be listened to and respected. And then if there's something that has to be changed or adjusted, that's perfect. But as 3 minutes goes off, I don't need somebody from the peanut gallery jumping in right there, because this is just neighbors here. We're just live in the same county, whether we're Pottstown or Ardsley. And there's an opportunity for people to speak, not be intimidated, and to sit down and then listen to a reply. A couple other little things. From Abington, and I'm sure it's all over, but I can only tell you where I lived. Public Works did a great job with snow removal. So I'm just going to give a little shout out to Mike Jones in Abington and his crew of guys who were picking up trash and taking care of what ended up being 2 inches of armored ice on top of 6 or 8 inches of snow. And those guys did a great job, and I'll bring it up again next meeting too. And I'm sure across the whole township, it's easy to complain about our trash guys and our public works guys, but these guys and gals busted their tails, and I salute their efforts last week, because that was quite a difficult storm to clean up after. The second one is just from what was brought up just before I came in, I guess. We need picture IDs to protect our elections. The only way to respect everybody that's here and is a registered American and legal voter is picture IDs, because illegal voters steal everybody else's votes. And the third one, I just found out at the last meeting, I talked to Neil afterwards. State Game Land 234, there was a land swap with the Pennsylvania Game Commission. I wasn't at the meeting, but I looked it up, and it was approved. This is a win for Montgomery County. We got a plus 5 acres of land in the land swap, so we end up with giving up 55 and getting 60 acres. And if you haven't been to State Game Land 234, go to it. We got a beautiful riverfront property, and we've got another, I don't know what it is, but probably at least half a mile of riverfront access in State Game Land 234 right now for an area that had been industrial and is going to be used for industrial processes. There's no changes, just they're changing it. That was all I had. Thank you very much.
There's actually, that property was swapped, and there was also additional 300 or 400 acres in Donald.
Oh, yeah. In Southeast PA, there's another 400 acres of open space that have turned into state game land. So, yeah, I mean, that was really a good deal.
Thank you, Mr. Rooney. David Morgan.
David Morgan of Ambler, and I appreciate Commissioner DeBello's comments about cost control. Commissioner DeBello, you're the one who definitely says these things in the meetings, and that's why I did propose that you could maybe have an opportunity to be chair of the committee of commissioners. I think it'd be refreshing to say that we are really bipartisan, truly bipartisan, at some time. I'm not sure when it could happen, but it's just something to consider, so that you voted against budgets or items, whereas I don't see much else going on to control our taxes in meetings. So just put that out there. Maybe sometime of the year could work. Then I also like to mention the Montgomery program. There's a consultant that was mentioned at the Ardmore meeting. And how is that going with Montgomery? Are they helping women who are having challenges interfacing with the health system, so they have improved childbirth, health, and considering the federal government just had out recent diet guidelines to help us have more natural food instead of processed food. It's just one dimension of that. I'm thankful that, Mr. Bell, you mentioned the parent and infant resource guides, which are really helpful to help out pregnancy resource centers, which help women expecting. I also have mentioned C+C, chastity and commitment, are really important in relationships. So if you're really considering long-term relationships, that's really important for especially men to consider and being helpful in their future families. And also, as I mentioned before, the blood pressure cuffs. I hope that's going along well with our health department. That was a conversation item from Penn Medicine at our movie night that the commissioner sponsored. So I hope that really is encouraged in all our local hospitals. Mentioned that there are some deficiencies in hospitals in another state. So hopefully we are doing well with that so that everyone's healthy. Thank you.
Mr. Rooney, with all due respect, I appreciate that you always
Mr.
come in.
Morgan.
Why do I keep looking at you and I keep, Mr. Morgan, that's Mr. Rooney, that's Mr. Morgan. With all due respect, Commissioner DeBello is not the only commissioner that spends time tackling cost savings. I just want to make that clear, that this is a effort that we collectively, as a board, work on together with our senior team, many of which are in this room. So I just want to, since you're publicly saying it, I want to publicly share that the entire team takes budget management and our fiduciary responsibilities really serious. I've led teams for 20 years in the private sector. I know how to manage a P&L. We've got a lot of work to do, you're absolutely right, but this entire board is working together on that effort. Thanks, Mr. Rooney.
Colleague says,
See, it's like the date last week, I couldn't
Yeah,
get the names.
but you
We'll get it,
stole-
I'll get it next.
You stole my
All right,
comment.
thanks. Thank you, appreciate your comment.
You stole my comment.
That the entire board's
I
working?
was gonna
Okay,
say
I
that.
mean, I just don't
No,
want you to get all the credit.
No, that's fine. I was actually gonna say that I've have in the past and will in the future have said, we have been working very hard, as a team to get where we are with the budget. Yes, at one point I didn't support a budget, but I did support the last one because of the hard work that went into it to get to that percentage. None of us were happy, but we are dealing with, as I mentioned, the large budget items and large things, and we're doing everything we possibly can to get the county from a financially strong position as we continue to move forward. And we're going to continue to look at everything as we're, believe it or not, we're going into the 2027 budget. So we'll be working very hard to continue to make and find more effective way to become as extremely efficient with the spending as possible.
Next up.
Reverend Peter Martin.
Good morning, Reverend Peter Martin, First Presbyterian Church of Norristown. Yes, not far away. I wasn't planning on being back with you so soon after December, but I did want to speak for Minnesota. That is my home state.
It's nothing to do with Montgomery County.
I'll explain how it has something to do with Montgomery County in a second. Thank you. I was going to say I have gone to a few Eagles games wearing Vikings collars and been on the losing end of that in more ways than one. I know a thing or two about winter, but ultimately what I'm here to talk about is what happened over there with the presence of what ICE agents are bringing in to this community. I have family in Minneapolis. I'm scared for them, and it has nothing to do with their immigration status. Like me, they were born and raised in Minnesota. As we talk about the welcome policy, and I know that's come up a number of times before this group, but I think broader than the welcome policy is ultimately, I think this board may have to come to grips with the fact that refusal to work with ICE will make the residents of Norristown, of this whole county, feel safer. I work with Norristown PD. I had lunch along with a number of other local pastors with Chief Michael Trail last week. I walk out my door and I see your sheriffs. I chat with them. As a matter of fact, there was an accident right in front of this building as I came in, and I saw some of your security and your sheriffs go out there to make sure that people are okay. The welcome policy, among other things, is ultimately saying that our local and county law enforcement is enough. I've had to call the cops multiple times on people going through major life problems who have been endangering our facility, our tenants, and our worshipers. Why do I call the cops? Because I know that the Norristown PD makes us safe. I believe the same about the sheriff. Do any of us believe that about immigration agents with their most recent track record? Well, I'm sorry that you all do, but their track record is not good. I don't trust them. If we talk about neighbors, I trust our neighbors. I trust our neighbors with the Norristown PD. I trust my neighbors with the sheriffs. If there is a violent criminal on these streets, our police can deal with them. Whatever their immigration status is, I hope that this board can trust their sheriffs and trust our county police department. Maybe our immigration agents will go through the kind of changes that multiple law enforcement agencies have in the past, but the executive administration has shown no signs of any of those kind of improvements. The welcome policy and whatever else this board decides with working with ICE will be a vote to trust in our own local police, not outsiders. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. That's it? Okay.
I'm going to comment because, again, as Montgomery County, we do not, as we stated time after time, have authority over local municipalities and what they do or do not do with enforcement of law. We in Montgomery County have a policy in place of how we will interact with all authorities, including federal authorities, as well as a policy that we have in place for our county prison system. So we, as far as I'm concerned, have gone as far as we could legally go. We don't have authority, and we cannot sit there and make a decision on what occurs or doesn't occur on Main Street in Norristown or anywhere else in Montgomery County when it comes to enforcement of federal law, state law, and local law.
Any comments?
I'll just add that I've spoken with a number of the police chiefs and, including Chief Trail, who you mentioned, and others in Montgomery County. And I think they collectively very much understand that here we're focused on safety of every resident and everyone in the community, and that requires trust. And especially at a time that is absolutely unprecedented. And to bring up, I think the concern from Minneapolis is the fact that there's 3,000 federal agents in Minneapolis for this purpose, which is outrageous. And you don't have, but it's inevitable to see what happened when there's a lack of accountability. And it's horrible, and the two individuals that everyone has witnessed in videos who were killed should be alive today. And what we can do locally is ensure that our law enforcement respects constitutional rights, respects their guidelines on the use of force, and I feel confident that in Montgomery County they're doing that.
I do as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the only thing that I would say, because I've talked to a number of people about what's happening nationally and what's happening, on the streets of Norristown, Upper Marion, Ambler. Yes, we're trying to work within the confines of our office, but we can care about what's happening in our communities. And I think that's what is missing in this moment, right? The care and empathy for like our fellow friends and neighbors. Like we're so deeply divided in our politics that we're losing sight of like real people that are being affected. You see the young lady comes up here talking about the Teen Summit. Can you imagine the mental health challenges that our kids in our schools are experiencing, especially the kids that are sitting in my son's classroom in Norristown? And so like I would just, we all have our politics, right? But when we turn a blind eye to what's happening to people that is downright wrong at the hands of people that are supposed to protect and serve, that's where I take issue. Agree with Commissioner DeBello in terms of the limits of our office, but there's what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that's what is missing in this moment. So I implore people to not just think about your politics, but think about people. Moving on, our next Board of Commissioners meeting, Commissioner DeBello mentioned our meeting on February 19th. Mr. Rooney, I hope to see you there. That's on your home turf. We will be doing,
Kidding.
Oh my God, you just don't. Oh, why did you do that to me? See, I was right. I finally got it right, the last couple of minutes of the meeting. But my point is, we are going to do meetings on the road quarterly, and we're planning the next one for Q2. I know that is important for us to get out. And so I'll make a motion to adjourn the February 3rd, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Next up, Salary Board. Quickly, welcome our controller. And as he's walking up, is there any public comment?
David Morgan?
Mr. Rooney. No, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan.
I'm not from Abington.
And you're from Abington,
Abington,
not from
Ambler. And last salary board meeting, I mentioned about the new positions concern I have with how much can we afford of new positions with our budget restraints. And so I was informed that some of these positions are covered by grants, but I also wonder, how about the benefits going with those positions and the pensions going with those positions if they're regular, full-time positions? Because to cover that part might be a big question mark for, can we afford these positions? And the consultant for saving funds would be a consultant. And Montgomery, as I understand, that's a consultant role. So that helps the county if it's not a full-time employee. So that's something to consider with all new position questions in the future. I hope to soon receive the new positions papers so that I'm all up to date with what they are. Thank you.
Mr. Morgan, I have to double check myself. Mr. Morgan, when we pay for a position through grant money, it's all encompassing. It's the total cost of that FTE. Thank you again. All right, invite Tony Brew to review the salary board list.
Good morning, members of the Salary Board. You should have in front of you the final copy of the Salary Board list. There's a 4-page document dated February 2nd, 2026 with a timestamp of 10:05 a.m. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for your consideration.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 3rd, 2026 Salary Board presentation as given by Mr. Tony Brew, Chief Human Resource Officer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makisha. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next up, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the February 3rd, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Salary Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. With 1 minute to spare.
Quick.